Hello everyone! Welcome back to December on the Cozy Chair. Do you remember about our present box? I have our present box here and let's see who we're reading for today. Jane! Today I'm going to be reading for Jane. Hello Jane, I hope you like this book. Let's see what's inside. All of the Other Reindeer! This is a super silly book about one of Santa's reindeer. Do you remember that song that helps you remember all the reindeer's name? Can you sing it? You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Ba-dum-bum-bum. All of the other reindeer. Olive? No, it's not Olive. But this book is, and I think it's a pretty silly book. So this is by J. Otto Seibold and Vivian Walsh. Every day, Olive took her daily dog walk, winter, spring, summer, or fall. Today was a winter's day. It was the holidays. There was music playing outdoors. People were singing along, all of the other reindeer. Olive was too shy to sing. She just hummed. Back at her doghouse, Olive was wrapping presents and listening to the radio. She heard that same song again. All of the other reindeer, went the song. Olive, the other reindeer, Olive singing along. Olive, the reindeer, said Olive. I thought I was a dog. I must be a reindeer. It was the time of year when all reindeers reported to the North Pole to help Santa Claus. Olive put down her scissors carefully and marched out the door. She just thought she was a dog, and now she knows that she's a reindeer. She took one bus and then two buses. She got there just in time. Santa was checking his list for the second time. Elves were busy helping the reindeer and loading the sleigh with presents for all the good girls and good boys. Everyone was getting ready to go. Olive took her place. Oh, look, the leash doesn't even fit on her. Santa noticed that there was a little dog in the lineup. Santa knew a lot about dogs. For instance, they can't fly. But as it was time to go, he decided to give Olive a chance. Comet, the biggest reindeer, used a piece of extra ribbon to make sure Olive was tied in safe and tight. Now they were ready to go. Olive was surprised. It was so easy to fly. Isn't that silly? Is that dog really flying? No. The other reindeer were very curious about the new helper. They looked at Olive so much they weren't watching where they were going. Crash! They flew smack into the top of a too-tall tree. Oh dear, said Santa. My sleigh is stuck in this tree. I'll have to cut it free. Olive clung to the side of the tree. She tried to fly up to help Santa, but she could not. She climbed up slowly and started chewing. Chewing sticks was something Olive could do well. Thank you, Olive, said Santa Claus as they got back on their way. They had not traveled far when Olive's nose began to twitch. Olive smelled trouble. It was the smell of gumdrop candies as they fell from the sleigh. Drop, drop, drop. Olive barked and Santa knew what to do. He steered the reindeer down and around so that all of the gumdrop fell, plop, 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 right into the toy sack. We were very lucky not to lose a single gumdrop, thought Olive. Then she heard a strange sound. It was a musical note. She spun around on her string to see the night sky filled with falling flutes. Olive had to howl louder than the wind instruments. This was not music to Santa's ears. First gumdrops and now flutes, thought Santa. That tree must have torn a hole in my sled. Prepare for an emergency landing, Santa instructed. The sleigh landed in a snowy field full of flutes. Luckily, Olive was very good at fetching sticks. It was something dogs love to do. Before Santa had finished patching the hole in the sleigh, Olive had returned each and every flute back to the sack. Ho, 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 said Santa. We're ready to go. Good thing they have Olive on that trip, don't you think? They were running late, but after a while, all the good children received their presents, and Santa and his team headed home. Can you see where they are delivering presents? Right now, they're in Paris. You can tell because of the Eiffel Tower. They were almost home when they got caught in a dreaded North Pole fog. The reindeer slowed down until it was only the breeze that moved them along. The fog was as thick as a pillow. It made everyone feel sleepy. Then Santa remembered something about dogs. They were expert smellers. Olive, I'd hate to be late for breakfast this year, he said. Mrs. Claus has planned a parade of cookies. Yum! How can you smell those delicious cookies, can't you? Olive could smell the cookies. Olive, won't you guide my sleigh this morning? Asked Santa. Olive moved to the front of the reindeer. Now he's going to smell for those delicious cookies and see if he can get them home. Thanks to Olive's nose and Mrs. Claus's baking, they made it all the way back to the North Pole. All of the elves sang out with a cheer. Hooray, hooray! Santa and the reindeer and the little doggy are back. Look at the North Pole. Doesn't that look cheery and bright, colorful and exciting? Back at the North Pole, it was a glorious morning. After eating lots of good food, it was time to open presents. The reindeer got jump ropes and the elves got tiny toy trains. Santa reached into his toy sack. There was just one present left. It was for Olive. It was her very own set of reindeer antlers. They fit perfectly. Then everyone went outside to play reindeer games. The end. Wasn't that a silly story? Now remember in the song how Rudolph saves them on Christmas because of his nose? Now Olive did it too. He saved Christmas because he could smell those delicious cookies. Speaking of cookies, are you going to make cookies for Santa Claus and set them out on Christmas Eve? I hope that you do. And I wish that I was Santa sometimes so I could eat everybody's cookies. They sound so delicious. Well, thank you for coming. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe so that you see everything that's happening. Thanks for coming and see you soon. Bye-bye.